Hello everyone, and before I start my presentation I want to say sorry because sorry for presenting for the third time. I know some of you don't like to see me here, but
It's
yeah,
okay. I like it.
I mean, I felt sorry for the Central Asia because this region is being neglected, and I felt kind of patriotic to present about my region and my country.
Very good.
Yeah, and then today we are going to be talking about Central Asia and specifically about Uzbekistan as a representative country in this region. And so I just want to start with this term, like surrounded by walls. The Central Asia is here, as you can see. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan is here, and Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan, all of the Stan countries. Yeah? I mean, this region is being neglected, I said, because in the Western perspective, this region, the Central Asia, is surrounded by walls. It's not my idea. It's like Western idea, like concept. Like one, the policymaker said, like you guys are located in the really like dangerous place because Central Asia is located by like surrounded by Russia, Iran, Afghanistan, and one side is China. So maybe that's why like the Western like investors or Western like countries they don't have that much interest in Central Asia. But like I will also mention these things like in the next slides. So like general information about Uzbekistan. This is the map of Uzbekistan, and the official name of Uzbekistan is the Republic of Uzbekistan. We are a democratic country, and area you can see here. The population is 38 million people, and the interesting thing is when we got independent in the 1991, our population was around like 10 million, but so far, so you can see each year we are growing like plus 1 million people like every year. It's a really great, huge like population growth. And official language is Uzbek, and all of the Central Asian countries, these countries, all of us are Turkic people. So we like think like ourselves as Turkic. So our language is close with Turkic language with Turkey, yeah. And then the capital is Tashkent City, and region like division. We have 12 regions, and we have one autonomy, which is Pakistan. This is also one autonomy republic within our country. And religion is Islam, 94%, and currency is Uzbekistan. So this is the general information about our country. And historical background, here we go. The ancient and medieval periods, like the Silk Road played a crucial role in our history, and our two major cities, Samarkand and Bukhara, they were located in the Silk Road, played a major role, and it was also really like significant for us for our history because all of the caravans went through these cities, and it made the like Samarkand and Bukhara so unique. And Timur or Timurid Empire is so debatable topic because we claim Amir Timur, the like emperor, as our ancestor, but at the same time, like Mongols or some Western like country, they also claim that that Timur was Mongol, or like there are also some other countries who claim Timur or Timurid Empire to be theirs, but the Timur was Turkic, and we don't say like he was Uzbek. Yeah, he was Turkic, and he was from Chagatai, the like what do you say, from the group of people of Turkic people. So we claim like he was Turkic, and he was born in Samarkand, the Shahrisabz, and his empire's capital was Samarkand, which is now Uzbekistan. So we claim him as our ancestor. And then Russian and Soviet influence was massive in our history. Russian conquest in the 19th century. This made us decline in the Central Asia. The economic and other factors, and also cultural perspective. We we experienced some decline in these things. And Uzbekistan, as part of the USSR from 1924 until 1991, it was also really quite difficult times for us, because current problems like water scarcity or other things, all of them were because of that. Like all of these current problems started from this era, because like the USSR looked at Uzbekistan as a, like, let's say, raw material producer country. So they demanded us to produce kind of cotton, like especially Uzbekistan produced massive cotton for the USSR. At the time, our two rivers, Sirdarya and like Amudarya, two rivers were used for the watering the massive body of water to the cotton. So as a result, our only one like big lake, the Aral Sea, is now facing with the water scarcity because of the USSR legacy. It started from there. And the interesting thing I didn't mention is Uzbekistan. Maybe like this is the reason why the Western countries don't really they're not really interested, is because we are located in the really unlucky location, I think, because we don't have any access to the mass body of water, like oceans, for example. Uzbekistan, I mean, in the world there are only two countries which are double landlocked, and one is Luxembourg and another one is Uzbekistan. So it means we cannot have access to the ocean. At the same time, our neighbors also cannot have the access to the ocean. So it is like really unlucky location compared to Singapore, as we've mentioned in the class. So independence was 1991, and currently there is still Russia's influence in Central Asia, and key leaders Islam Karimov and Shavkat Mirziyoyev. So since we got independence in 1991, so far we have only two leaders, and even though it's Democratic Republic, so we have only two. So, and political system and foreign relations. So he is our current president, and presidential republic we are. President as a significant executive power of the republic. He is the head of state and government and the army at the same time. Separation of power, we have three separations, executive, legislative, and judicial system. And we have multi-parties, like 5 political parties. And since our independence, there is only one party who has been ruling, and which is Uzbekistan, the Liberal Democratic Party. Foreign policy, we are non-aligned country, and at the same time multi-vector foreign policy we have, which means we don't want to join any military alliances or any military organizations, but at the same time we try to have multiple connections with both West, with the China, Russia, with everyone. We try to have the equal connections and relationship, major powers like Russia, China, as I mentioned, the United States, and European Union, membering UN, Shanghai Cooperation Organization of Turkic States, and Commonwealth of Independent States. And so the thing is, even though it is not that democratic to have only two presidents since the independence, it sounds a little bit more authoritarian regimes. Our people want maybe more stability, let's say, and most of the people don't have that political knowledge. And there are also some surveys on the internet nowadays, do you know how many political parties in Uzbekistan? Some people don't want to get interacted, in the politics. So they say they prefer not to say something about politics. It is also something like problem that we like our people don't have that much political knowledge. Economic overview. Yeah, manufacturing plays an important role. Automobile industry and especially the agriculture stuff were the main things. South Korea, China, Russia, Turkey. These countries are massively investing in infrastructure in Uzbekistan. But the challenges are like infrastructure itself is the challenge for us. For example, the technology, the latest modern technologies, like we are lacking of, is the main challenge, and also the supply and dependence on the raw materials. So the problem is we have raw materials, which is good, but at the same time, our economy massively being dependent on the export of the raw materials, which is so not good. Like it is something like Dutch disease, like how to say, we are being dependent on the raw materials, but what if the raw materials like became kind of limited? It is something under question. So yeah. And agriculture, as I mentioned, 25% of GDP and 30% of the workforce employment belongs to the agriculture. And main products, as I mentioned, cotton again, and wheat and grains and fruit and vegetables. We usually export these agricultural products to Russia, especially, and Kazakhstan and other neighboring countries. And then tourism industry, the current government is mainly focusing on to develop is this tourism industry because a rich cultural and historical heritage, Samarkand, Comparative, and other cities, safe and open Uzbekistan program from the government to develop this sector. But the challenge is again the seasonal dependence. For example, in winter or other seasons, tourists don't want to really visit Uzbekistan, and this is also kind of a challenge for this industry because it's being dependent on the season. In summer or in autumn, tourists, many tourists go, but how to say, it is not stable. So it is also one challenge, and management and promotion and these kind of things are also challenging us. And culture and society. And these are our national food, and the samsa and pulao and other things. In Korea, as people eat pap, right? The rice with any food. But in Uzbekistan, we eat bread with any food. So we don't eat that much rice. Maybe because we don't have mass body of water to to produce the rice, maybe. But we produce wheat, so that's why we make bread and we eat bread with anything. Good advertisement. If you want to try this, food, you can try in Chonju as well in the Uzbek restaurants. Yeah. And then these are our national clothing and kind of cultural kind of heritage for us because these clothes we have right now was worn in the past, so we kind of demonstrate this kind of clothing, especially with this kind of patterns as our cultural cultural code to the international society. And national games, we have two types of national games. One is wrestling, Uzbek wrestling. Another one is this is a little bit similar with nomadic games, so kind of with horses, and it's a little bit. It looks a little bit dangerous, but yeah, it's kind of the game, a national game which we really like. And then, the challenges. Yeah, as I mentioned, the water scarcity and environmental issues. For example, we have shrinking RLC and water shortages and Pushtafa Canal by Afghanistan. The problem is, so the current Afghanistan, which is our neighboring country, they are also the Taliban is going to develop Afghanistan, and they are going to develop their agriculture. At the same time, we have one rivers, and while we are facing water shortages, Afghanistan wants one canal from that river to Afghanistan to develop their agriculture. Our government said, okay, you can just have some part of the water, and then they are just building Pushtape Canal, which means like even though we are lacking water in the future, we might like lose more water, which is also one problem. Yeah, but the dependence on raw materials, as I mentioned, is also one challenge for us, and we need to diversify the economy, like the factors, the sectors, and security issues. Even though we are non-aligned country, which we do not enter any like armed kind of groups or organizations, it is hard to balance the the relationship between major powers. So, for example, like it is really hard. Like if we get close with America or the West, then Russia gets some angry or something, and so that's why it's like something hard to balance the power, the relationship. And then security threats from Afghanistan, even though right now it is not that massive, it's not that really how to say important issue, but like the West sees Uzbekistan as not that safe because we have like Afghanistan next to us. That's why infrastructure and connectivity, it is also the problem. We need more how to say modernization and like energy and digital influence in infrastructure in Uzbekistan. And at the same time, we are we have limited regional connectivity between the regions. So it causes the rise of regionalism in Uzbekistan. So it is also one problem for us. And that's all. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Please do.
Akmal, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I think you used the same PPT for last semester.
Oh, that's right.
Studies 3.
Yeah, it was also area studies. Yeah.
Right?
I think it's okay, right, Professor?
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because
I
it's
mean,
an extra one.
that's right.
He has already done 2 PPTs.
Because no one is doing about Central Asia, so I think it's better to use past slides. But I've changed it, some of the parts which is not related to the current situation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will be presenting on the geographical features and the development of the Republic of Korea. The title of my presentation is what I said. So my name is Tan Soo-fi, and thank you for being here. Let's begin with an overview of what I will cover today. First, I will introduce Korea's geographical location and the natural environment. Next, I will discuss Korea's topography and physical features. Then I will look at the country's rapid economic growth and industrial development. Following that, we will explore the division between North and South Korea, including their differences. Finally, we will touch on Korea's culture and religion and end with a conclusion about Korea's current state and the future prospects. Korea is located in East Asia, sharing borders with China to the northwest and Russia to the north. To the south, it faces Japan across the Korea Strait, also known as the Tsushima Strait. Surrounding seas include the East Sea, known internationally as the Sea of Japan, and the Yellow Sea. The Korean Peninsula is strategically positioned at the southeastern tip of Asia, providing access to the Pacific Ocean, which has historically benefited trade and maritime activities. In particular, Korea's location connects it to major Asian countries and the world's leading economies, highlighting its importance in regional geopolitics and economics. And the total area of Korea is approximately 100,000 square kilometers. Similar to countries like the UK or Italy, about 70% of Korea consists of mountainous terrain, which shapes much of its landscape. The highest peak in the North Korea rises over 9,000 meters. And in South Korea, notable mountains like Jirisan, Seoraksan, and Halasan dominate the landscape. There are also plains mainly along the west coast, such as the Seoul metropolitan area and in the southeast. These mountainous terrain influences agricultural patterns and city development, leading to concentrated urban centers in flat regions. South Korea has experienced rapid urbanization and industrialization, especially since the 1960s. Seoul, the capital, has grown into a global city with advanced infrastructure and technology along the west coast. Major cities like Incheon, Busan, and Daegu have developed strong manufacturing bases and port facilities. Industries such as electronics, shipping build, and automobiles exemplified by brands like Samsung, Hyundai, and Kia drive Korea's economy. These developments have transformed Korea into one of the world's leading economic powers, laying the foundation for sustainable growth. The most prominent feature of Korea today is its division at the 38th parallel, created after World War II and solidified by the Korea War. North Korea is a socialist state with a command economy, mountainous terrain, and limited resources. South Korea is a capitalist democracy with high living standards and advanced industries. This division stems from Cold War politics and the demilitarized zone, or DMZ, serves as a buffer area. The ongoing military tension reflects the profound political and military differences. South Korea's economy has grown remarkably through industrialization and export-led growth. Major conglomerates like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG lead their respective sectors globally. In contrast, North Korea remains isolated economically, dealing with the resource shortages and international sanctions. Despite sharing history and ethnicity, the two have diverged significantly due to political system affecting their economic development. Korea has a rich cultural heritage influenced historically by Buddhism, Confucianism, and Christianity. Traditional values like respect for elders, family, and community continue to shape Korean society. Religious practice can be seen in temples, shrines, and the churches across the country. Today, Korea maintains religious diversity with Buddhism, Christianity, and the traditional beliefs coexisting and contributing to its vibrant culture. I think I did to mention in the contents in first, but I will explain it. Korea's natural environment features diverse landscapes, including mountains, forests, rivers, and coastlines. Its rich natural resources have historically supported agriculture, forestry, and industry. However, the rapid pace of industrialization and urban growth has led to several environmental challenges. South Korea faces severe air pollution, especially in urban areas like Seoul, due to vehicle emissions and industrial process. Water pollution remains a concern, originating from sewage and discharge of industrial influence which affects rivers and the coastal waters. The deforestation has been a problem in North Korea as well, resulting in soil erosion and the loss of biodiversity. Water quality in North Korea is often poor with limited sanitation infrastructure, leading to waterborne disease, deforestation, and soil degradation, also ongoing issues impacted by resource extraction and agricultural practices. To address these environmental concerns, South Korea has implemented policies promoting sustainable urban development, green technology, and pollution control. And North Korea has made less progress due to economic constraints, but international efforts aim to support environmental conservation in the region. To conclude, Korea's strategic geographic location has enabled it to develop a strong manufacturing and technological base that's recognized worldwide. And despite the division efforts toward reunification and continue, and the country faces future challenges like aging population and environmental sustainability. By leveraging its geographical advantages, pursuing technological innovation, and promoting eco-friendly policies, Korea can build a resilient and sustainable future. 감사합니다.
Hello everyone, I'm Anamika, and today I will be talking about Japan, a country that is often seen as one of the most successful and advanced nations in Asia. In this presentation, I will discuss Japan's geography, population, history, economic development, and current challenges. To understand Japan properly, we must first look at where it is located and how its geography affects the country. Japan is an island nation located in East Asia on the Pacific Rim. It lies to the east of China and the Korean Peninsula, which has historically influenced its political and cultural interaction with its neighbors. Japan has diverse climate zone. Even though it is not very large country, most of Japan's experiences type C or temperate climate, which means warm summers, cool winters, and regular rainfall. However, the northern island of Hokkaido falls under type D or cold climate. This region experiences heavy snowfall during winter, which is very different from the southern Japan. Because of this snowy climate, Japan has developed strong winter sports industries and has hosted the Winter Olympics in 1972 and 1998. Another important feature related to climate and geography is Mount Fuji, which is not only an active volcano but also a cultural and spiritual symbol for the Japanese people. Climate and terrain influence where people live. So now I will discuss Japan's population and urbanization patterns. As of 2020, Japan's population was approximately 124.6 million people. What is most striking is that about 92% of the population lives in urban areas, making Japan one of the most urbanized countries in the world. The Tokyo metropolitan area alone has around 37.3 million people, making it the largest urban area globally. This region includes Tokyo, Yokohama, and Kawasaki, and acts as the economic and political center of Japan. Another major urban region is the Kansai region, which includes cities such as Osaka, Kobe, and Kyoto. These cities play important roles in commerce, culture, and education. However, high population density also increases vulnerability to natural disasters, which are very common in Japan. Japan experiences frequent natural hazards because it is located on the boundaries of three major tectonic plates. This makes earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions a regular part of life. Some of the most significant disasters in Japan's history include the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, which destroyed large parts of Tokyo, and the Kobe earthquake of 1995, which caused massive economic losses. More recently, the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami led to the Fukushima nuclear disaster, showing how natural disasters can also create technological and environmental crises. Because of these repeated disasters, Japan has developed advanced disaster preparedness systems, strict building codes, and early warning technologies. Japan's ability to respond to disasters is connected to its long history and strong social organization. In early Japanese history, society was ruled by shoguns and supported by samurai warriors. This system created a highly structured and disciplined society where loyalty and duty were strongly emphasized. Japanese society was also known for its skilled artisans, including metal workers, carpenters, and textile producers. These skills later helped Japan industrialize quickly. Because Japan is mountainous, people mainly lived in coastal areas, which encouraged trade, fishing, and early urban development. This traditional system eventually changed dramatically during a major turning point in Japanese history. The Meiji Restoration of 1868 was a turning point that transformed Japan completely. Power shifted from feudal rulers to the emperor, and Japan began a rapid process of modernization. During this period, Japan adopted Western education systems, military technology, and industrial methods, while still maintaining Japanese traditions. This balance allowed Japan to modernize without losing its cultural identity. As a result, Japan became one of the first non-Western countries to successfully industrialize. This rapid modernization also forced Japan to expand beyond its borders. As Japan industrialized, it required raw materials and labor, which were limited within the country. To solve this, Japan began expanding overseas. Japan colonized Korea, Taiwan, parts of China, Russia, and Southeast Asia, becoming a major imperial power in the Pacific region. This expansion increased Japan's influence but also created long-lasting tensions with neighboring countries. Japan's imperial ambitions ended with its defeat in World War II, which brought severe destruction and loss of lives. Despite this devastation, Japan's recovery after the war was extraordinary. After World War II, Japan was economically and physically devastated. However, within few decades, Japan experienced what is known as the economic miracle. The government focused on education, industrial policy, and export-led growth. Japanese companies became global leaders in automobiles, electronics, and machinery. Strong work ethics, discipline, and cooperation between the government and private sector played a key role in this recovery. This success shaped Japan's modern economic structure. Today, Japan remains one of the largest and most advanced economies in the world. It is known for innovation in robotics, automobiles, and electronics. However, Japan faces serious economic challenges. The country lacks natural resources, importing over 90% of its energy, and and around 60% of its food. Although income levels are high, the cost of living is also very high, especially in urban areas. Japan also has complex economic relations with China, combining cooperation and competition. Economic challenges are closely linked to social and demographic issues. Japanese culture is influenced by Shinto and Buddhism, emphasizing harmony, respect for nature, and social responsibility. However, Japan is facing a demographic crisis. The population is aging rapidly, and birth rates are extremely low. This leads to labor shortages, higher healthcare costs, and pressure on pension system. Japan is now experimenting with automation, robotics, and limited immigration to address this issue. Despite these challenges, Japan continues to play a major role in East Asia. Japan is a key member of the East Asian community and plays an important role in regional trade and diplomacy. While historical tensions with China and Korea remain, economic interdependence continues through strong trade relationships. Japan also competes globally with the United States and Europe, especially in advanced technology and manufacturing. Now, I will conclude by summarizing Japan's overall position. To conclude, Japan is a unique island nation shaped by geography, history, and resilience. It has achieved remarkable economic success despite natural disasters and limited resources. However, Japan now faces major challenges such as population decline and aging society. How Japan addresses these issues will shape not only its future but also the future of East Asia. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Professor Pai and I will present Japan-Korea conflict and modern relations. This topic is very important to understand how historical experiences continue to shape present-day diplomacy, security and economic cooperation in East Asia. Through this presentation, I will briefly explain the historical root of conflicts, key disputes and recent development between Japan and Korea. So, Japan and Korea are two most important countries in East Asia. Their relationship directly influenced regional security, economic cooperation, and US-led alliance in the Indo-Pacific region. Although both countries share demographic values and strong economic unresolved historical issues continue to create political tension. Because of this, their relationship is often described as both cooperative and confrontational. The foundation of the Japan and Korean conflict lies in the period of Japanese colonial rules over Korea from 1910 to 1945. During this time, Korea experienced forced labor, culture suppression, and military exploitation. Many Koreans view this period as one of the deep national trauma. As a result, this historical experience remained the core source of mistrust in modern Japan-Korea relations. One of the most sensitive historical issues is the comfort women issue. thousands of Korean women were forced into sexual slavery by the Japanese military during World War II. The main points of conflict involved demand for an official apology, legal responsibility, and compensation. While Japan claims the issue has been settled through the past agreements, South Korea argues that true justice has not yet been achieved. Another major issue involved forced labor during the colonial period. In 2018, South Korea's Supreme Court ordered Japanese companies to compensate Korean victims of forced labor. Japan strongly opposed the ruling, stating that all claims were resolved under the 1965 Normalization Treaty. This disagreement led to trade tension and diplomatic relations between the two countries. Japan and South Korea also dispute a group of small islands known as Dokdo in Korea and Takeshima in Japan. Although South Korea is currently controlling the island, both countries claim sovereignty. For Koreans, Dokdo symbolized resistance against colonial rule. For Japanese, it represents territorial integrity. Despite their small size, the island carries strong emotional and symbolic values. In 2019, historical tension escalated into the economic sphere. Japan restricted export of key materials used in South Korea's technology industry. In response, South Korea launched boycott of Japanese product and filed complaint with the WTO. This conflict clearly shows how historical disputes can directly affect economic relationship. Despite the tension, Japan and South Korea shared common security concerns, especially regarding North Korea's nuclear and missiles program. Both countries cooperate under a US-led security alliance and share intelligence. However, political dispute limits mutual trust and complicates territorial cooperation between the US, Japan, and South Korea. Public opinion plays a significant role in shaping Japan-Korea relationship. In South Korea, younger generation are often more critical of Japan historical stance. In Japan, society remains divided over issues such as apologies and wartime responsibility. These nationalist sentiments often pressure government to adopt hardline position, making compromise more difficult. In recent years, there have been signs of improvement. South Korea proposed a compensation fund for forced labor victims without requiring direct payment from Japanese companies. This led to restart a diplomatic summits and security dialogue. These changes were largely driven by shared concern over China's growing influence and North Korea's missile threats. Looking ahead, Japan-Korea relationship faced both challenge and opportunities. Challenges include unresolved historical memory and domestic political pressure. However, there are also strong opportunities through cultural exchange such as K-pop anime tourism, and also deep economic interdependence. Their shared democratic values provide a foundation of long-term cooperation. In conclusion, Japan-Korean relations are deeply shaped by both history and modern geopolitics. While conflict continues, cooperation remains necessary for regional stability. True reconciliation will require honest historical dialogue, strong political leadership, and great public understanding on both sides. Thank you for listening my presentation and here are my